Your price. Yeah. Okay. So let's say we have this like this, right? This is your demand curve, downward sloping. We know that, right? Demand, price, quantity, and inverse relationship. And there's some supply curve. So let's say the supply curve, I'm not drawing it, it intersects over here. So you know at the point where it intersects, what you have here is E0, let's call it, and let's call this Q0. So that's the equilibrium quantity that gets sold. That's the equilibrium price. So if I'm a retailer or running a finance retail business, I get so much revenue, right? Price times quantity, that's my total revenue take. Now what's happened is, there's a bunch of customers who might have been willing to pay more for that service or a product, but you don't get that because you price everything at this one price. What I really want to do is segment everybody and price. You run price segmentation, so you know that there's a benefit to that. By profiling people using sort of tech, you can actually say who should get what price. And that's what happens in Groupons and all these things. Everybody gets a different price, by the way. You get a Groupon, he doesn't get the same price I get because they've looked at my behavior and they actually tell you from my profile that maybe I'll be willing to pay more than he's willing to pay for a certain service, and the other way around for something else. So if I can actually hit everybody at the price they're willing to pay, then this entire triangle I can pick up. So if you think of this as the economy, if this is the GDP right now, that's a big chunk that's lying around that people are picking up from profiling. Okay? And then likewise, there are people who couldn't pay that much, you can even start offering them lower prices because now you're making enough money on the other triangle. So both these triangles are open. And that's where all this technology is being focused to actually pick up profile people. So the result that there's companies that only spend they're huge companies that only do profiling. So one of them is Facebook. Facebook does a ton of profiling and sells your name to everybody else. But does anybody know who the biggest company in the world is that does individual profiling? Not Google. It's Axiom. Okay, it's in Palo Alto. They're the best profilers around. They've been around for a while. Nobody knows them. And they literally so in fact you should go to this website. Maybe you'll be on it and you can check your own profile. But there's a website called aboutthedata.com. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, so this is maintained by Axiom, by the way. So they have a profile of almost everybody. And you can put your name in, and it'll actually show you all the information they have about you. Okay? They literally collect everything. You'll be surprised what they know about it. It's absolutely amazing. Okay? So I don't know if people in India will be in there that much, but definitely people in the US will be in it. So in 9/11, when those guys flew the planes into the World Trade Center, Axiom basically ran a filter through all their profiles, and they picked out about 55 names, which were matching sort of profiles of people who might commit that kind of a terrorist act. They gave that to the Homeland Security guys in the US, and they raided all those 55 locations, and they actually picked up 11 people who were part of the plot in the same day that happened, by the way. Nobody knows a lot about this, but that's what they did. Homeland Security, NSA, they were all sitting around, basically they had nothing. Okay, these guys had such an accurate sort of targeting system that they were able to figure it out. Okay? So this is slowly happening in the finance space now. Okay, people are targeting different kinds of people for different kinds of services. The biggest space where this is happening is in insurance. In insurance, every year you get a contract renewal, right? Where it says, here's your new rates for the next year, sign and say that you agree, or whatever not, we assume you agree unless you tell us otherwise, things of that sort. And in the old days, that was the time when most people jumped to another insurance company. And the reason for that was, if you raise somebody's rate